On day two of the EDTA conference in Washington, you start looking around at any conference to see if it's a good conference, maybe drawing some international participants. There's some great sponsors here, the OEMs, the utilities, a lot of the technology providers, these charging companies, but is anyone from outside North America paying attention to what's happening here? It didn't take me long to figure out that at least for one country and for one region in particular, this conference holds a tremendous amount of appeal. In the north of England, a great old industrial area, there's a new industry of advanced vehicle technologies and everything that relates to it. And I was not at all surprised to see our friends from the north of England who are here. Sean Long with One Northeast is here with a colleague, Ian Stewart, who's based here in the United States, covering this conference, it seems to me, corner to corner. Sean, what are you learning? How does it compare to what's happening in the UK and in your region in particular? What are you seeing here so far?
Well, I mean, I think one of the interests for the British government, One Northeast, is that we've obviously got an automotive industry in the UK, albeit it's not owned by the UK anymore. We still have 7 global vehicle manufacturers there. And there's been a lot of initiatives, certainly over the last 12-24 months, around low-carbon vehicles and electric vehicles. Certainly within the British government side, like in the US, we're putting a lot of funding and development into vehicles, working with vehicle manufacturers and the infrastructure providers. So for us, it was really interesting to see what page the US is on, whether we're on the same page, whether we've got synergy.
Are we in the same chapter?
Oh yeah, we are actually. Funny enough, we're talking to the same type of people. We're talking to energy companies, network providers, software providers. It's a whole new industry.
Yeah.
It's a whole new industry in terms of how that connects together.
Let's start at the top. On the vehicle side, Nissan would be the largest of the global companies that has its manufacturing presence there in your region.
Yeah, I mean, what's driving us in the north of England is that 1 in 3 of the cars produced in England or the UK are actually produced in the north of England, and they're by Nissan. So they produce in a range of up to about 500,000 cars a year.
That's big.
And obviously that's a major factor for the UK economy. So with the likes of Nissan announcing that they're setting up the Nissan Leaf manufacturing in the US, they're obviously looking for European setup.
In my state, by the way, in my region.
Is that Tennessee?
That's right.
Okay. So obviously in the UK, Nissan have announced that they're building a £200 million battery manufacturing facility purely for the sort of Nissan Leaf EV type.
Same play here, side by side with the
side by side, and obviously from our point of view, the British government, we've got a commitment to Nissan to put charging posts in the ground. In order to do that, we've got to work on sustainable business models, much the same as you've got here. I think the biggest difference I've actually seen coming over to here compared to the UK is that in terms of your pitch and what I'm hearing, the energy security issue is pushed a lot harder.
Not an issue in the UK or even in the EU?
I mean, from our point of view, yes, we have energy security issues, but we're not probably using that as the keystone message to try and get the general public into.
How about climate change? Is climate change more of a driver?
I would say climate change is a driver, but ultimately it's what we call a new industry, new jobs. And it doesn't matter whether you're a governor in the US or a minister in the UK, those folks like those type of words because that's going to bring new industry, new jobs, great for the economy and great for the climate as well.
Now you have some niche players who are here at this conference with vehicles, Smith Electric being at the top of that list.
Actually, it's really quite comforting to see some of the brands down in the lower hall there where you had
in the show.
So you had obviously I felt a little bit at home because we had Smith on one side, which have set up a Kansas facility here. Also, you've got Mini, which is based in the southeast.
Very popular.
So that's the Mini electric.
The Mini E.
Right. And obviously they're bringing out their new vehicle, which will basically have the battery in the floor shell, so then you get 4 seats back.
And to clarify, both Smith, with its cargo and utility, business-related vehicles, and the Austin, the Mini E, are both pure electric. These are not hybrids. These are not plug-in hybrids. They're pure electric.
Pure electric. And I think really from our point of view in the northeast, what we have in Nissan on our doorstep and Smith on our doorstep, so that's commercial vehicles and potentially the Nissan Leaf. That's creating a great emphasis. One of the things we're doing in the north of England, we're was allocated as the first low-carbon economic area for vehicles in the UK. So
it's designated as such an area.
Designated as such an area. So we've got a low-carbon vehicle R&D test track facility, which industry in the UK can use. We'll also use that as a leverage for Europe as well.
If you had to report back to your colleagues, if you got on the phone today and they said, well, Secretary of Energy, of course, is speaking here today. We know he's going to have an announcement. The President spoke last night at the State of the Union, specifically mentioned projects like this as job creators. Would you say that the United States is thinking about this the same way, that these are future industries, these are growth-oriented, job-creating industries as well?
I think exactly the same. And what's really refreshing to see at this particular conference is the passion with the people who come to the...
Nobody's passive.
Nobody's passive about it, and it's crossing a range of industries, which is great. And I think the US and the UK have a great history of working together, so we appreciate that. Obviously in the US side, there's a great amount of focus on the domestic market. We also realise that some of those companies, once they've looked at their domestic market, will also be interested in sort of replication and expansion opportunities into Europe. So part of that is sort of learning what's going on here, and establishing those relationships.
We don't call it the special relationship for no reason at all. We call it that because we are often in parallel, working in parallel, sometimes political issues, sometimes military, but in this case it's new industries, it's new applied technologies. You also have one of your utility operators who we learn is here, the National Grid.
Yes.
They actually own several of the operating utilities in New England, so they have a foot on both sides of this pond, don't they?
Yeah, it was quite interesting today to bump into some of the guys from National Grid, and obviously on the UK side, we're pretty much working with energy providers, network providers, the likes of National Grid, to see we have what's called Plugged In Places initiative. Similar sort of sound.
Public places.
No, so plugged in places initiative, which is all about putting the infrastructure in what sustainable business models going forward. So National Grid, the energy companies like E.ON, RWE, Power, Cisco, CE Electric, these types of organisations are all involved in the discussion of what the sustainable business model is going forward. Part of management and balancing of the grid for EVs is part of that solution.
We call these regions clusters, sometimes hotspots. It's more than just a few early adopters. In this case, consumers, utilities, technology, information technology providers, all working together. It sounds like the right kind of model. We have a feeling you're going to be back and you're going to be continuing to cover this industry and electric drive.
Definitely.
Thank you, Sean Long. Good luck to you.
Thanks
Okay.
very much.
Yeah.